KPRC2 News begins right now with breaking news.
The young father of an infant is dead. Police say he's the victim of a deadly shooting. We want to thank you for joining us tonight at 10 o'clock. I'm Keith Garvin.
Good evening. I'm Daniela Guzman. KPRC2 was the first station to bring you the news with this push alert at 4:56 this afternoon. Tonight, we have learned there is evidence of gunfire up and down a stretch of Beechnut, ending in the parking lot of a Wells Fargo near the Beltway. Police telling us the victim's 5-month-old baby was in the back seat.
The scene tonight is still very active, and that is where we find our Bryce Newberry. Bryce, tell us what you've learned since we last saw you at 6.
Keith and Daniela, the medical examiner's office has been here on the scene for about the last hour or so. We just saw them leave here with the body, and as we've been here at this scene throughout the night, the family members of this victim have been showing up just full of grief and emotion. As you can imagine, they tell me this was a 23-year-old father on his way to take family photos with his 5-month-old baby girl when all of this happened. And fortunately, she is okay with her family tonight. They say that he was a loving, hardworking father. He worked as a security officer. And I do want to show you, just to help explain this scene, because there are a lot of moving parts here. We've got this map to help break it down and help you understand, because eventually we learned this evening that police believe this shooting happened about a half-mile down Beechnut, and then the car ended up here in the parking lot of a Wells Fargo bank. Detectives told me that they found evidence stretching all the way down the road, almost getting to the bank here, of different shell casings and gunfire earlier today. So we do have some video just to show you how many bullets that car ended up with. We can see throughout every window, basically, both the front and back windshields, as well as the rear passenger window. You can see some of the damage that this vehicle had. We also have the video that shows that scene that they eventually found, where they started processing the evidence that they found. And we all know that all of this happened around 4 o'clock this afternoon. Inside that vehicle, we understand that the male who was riding in the front passenger seat was hit by a bullet. He was hurt. He had to be taken to the hospital. And then in the back seat, a young woman who spent hours here being interviewed by detectives. We understand that she was treated as a witness in this case, and we're also told that she actually grabbed that baby and held on to her in the back seat when bullets started flying.
It's a small car with 4 people in it. You know, anytime you got gunfire going in a car, it's very dangerous. So we're lucky we didn't have more injuries and deaths today.
And initially, police said this may have been a road rage incident, but nothing has been ruled out at this point. There's still a lot of investigating to be done. You can see police are still out here. Again, this happened about 6 hours ago at this point. No one has been arrested at this point, and there's no description of who may have done this. Keith and Daniela.
Well, such a terrible tragedy, Bryce. You've been out there now for several hours, and there's still a very active scene. The response to this shooting feels larger than normal.
You know, that's one interesting thing that we noticed as all of this started developing. I counted at least 8 detectives, maybe more, which is more than we usually see. And once they got here, they really split up and went in every single direction. It seemed clear that they really had no idea where this shooting happened. So we saw them going to gas stations, trying to get surveillance video or just find any sort of evidence. Eventually, we did hear that they found that scene just down the road where they found all of those shell casings. But there is still so many questions about this. And this is a really big family. I've spoken with several of the family members tonight. They are truly heartbroken and just wanting to know what happened here.
Oh, we can only
Keith,
imagine. Okay. All right. Bryce Newberry for us live in Southwest Houston. Bryce, thank you.